as the combined equation of lines passing through origin represents, or it's a homogeneous equation of degree 2 in x and y. But the converse need not be true, because every homogeneous equation of second degree need not be a combined equation of pair of lines. For example, if we take homogeneous equation of degree 2, this equal to 0, then this is, even though this is homogeneous equation of degree 2, this is not the equation of pair of lines, because this equation represents a point circle. It is nothing but a point circle. So even though it's a homogeneous equation of degree 2, it's not a combined equation of pair of lines. We can find the condition for a homogeneous equation to be the combined equation of pair of lines. Okay. For that, let us see the third theorem, theorem number 3. Theorem 3. Homogeneous equation of degree 2 in x and y. The homogeneous equation of degree 2 in x and y is this equation. Represents a pair of lines passing through origin if x square minus ab is greater than or equal to 0. That we have to prove. Means this equation is given and this equation represents a pair of lines passing through origin if this condition is satisfied. That we have to prove here. Okay, let us consider the homogeneous equation ax square plus 2hxy plus by square equal to 0. Okay, where a, h, b are constants of degree 2 in variables x and y. Okay, now consider here two cases. If suppose we can take the cases about constant a or constant b, we will take as per textbook the cases are related to constant b. Consider the two cases. First one, b is equal to 0, and second one, b not equal to 0. Whenever we are considering b equal to 0, it means a and h are non-zero. Whenever we are considering b not equal to 0, it means obviously a and h are also non-zero constants. Okay, so case 1. In this case 1, let b equal to 0. Now whenever b equal to 0, this equation 1 becomes, therefore let b equal to 0, then equation 1 becomes ax square plus 2hxy equal to 0, because d is equal to 0, so this last term third will become 0. Now from these two terms we can take common x, therefore x in bracket ax plus 2hy is equal to 0. So the product of these two terms, two numbers, is 0, therefore x is equal to 0, or and ax plus 2hy equal to 0. So this x equal to 0 is nothing but y-axis, and this equation contains only x and y term, constant term is absent, so it's an equation of line passing through origin. So y is equal to x equal to 0 means y-axis, and this line passing through origin. These are two lines passing through origin, therefore represents. So what is the conclusion of theorem? Represents a pair of lines passing through origin. So y-axis passes through origin and this line also passes through origin. So we will write here that therefore x equal to 0 and x plus 2hy equal to 0 pass through origin, and these are the two required lines. Let us see the figure related to this. X equal to 0 is nothing but y-axis. Its equation is y is nothing but x equal to 0. And the line x plus 2hxy, it is a line passing through origin. This is x plus 2hy equal to 0. This is origin. Okay. You can draw the simple figure related to this case 1. Now, so what is the conclusion of case 1? Whenever b equal to 0, this b equal to 0 remains this much, and from that you can take common x. If you consider b, a equal to 0, then you will get the similar result, that is 2hxy. Whenever a equal to 0, we get 2hxy plus by square equal to 0. From these two you can take common y. Here we have taken common x. At this stage you can take common y. So 2hx plus by out of bracket y equal to 0. So the product of these two numbers is 0. So each one is 0. So 2hx plus by equal to 0 and y equal to 0. What is y equal to 0? Y equal to 0 is nothing but x-axis. Equation of x-axis is y equal to 0. And this is the once again the line passing through origin, because x term is here, y term is here, but constant is upset. So it's a line passing through origin. So it is also another line passing through origin. So you can write either that case or this one. Both are similar. Okay. Let us see the case 2, second case. Now consider, let b is not equal to 0. In second case, what we have taken? B is not equal to 0. As b is not equal to 0, multiply each term by b. Therefore, multiply equation 1 by b, we get ab x square plus 2hxyb plus b square y square equal to 0. Now, once again we will write these terms as a bx square plus 2 hx and by plus b square y square equal to 0. Okay, because here b square y square is here, that's why we have taken out this term or that number by. Now if you observe these two terms, then if in this left hand side, if there will be x square to the left, then this will become complete square. Means abx square. For this term, if we add here h square x square, then this will be twice hx into by plus b square y square equal to 0. That means this will become complete square. Is it okay? Are you getting my point here? Here we are adding h square x square, so that this will become now complete square. As we are adding h square x square, subtract also. So it is h square x square minus. Okay. Now from these two again, we can take common x square. And we will write first this square and after the remaining term. So from this we get this as hx plus by bracket square. Is it okay? This is nothing but hx plus by bracket square. B square gives us a square x square plus twice hx dy plus b square y square. Now from this take common minus of x square. In bracket remains this h square and minus ab, because this x square ab is positive, this minus minus becomes plus, okay, and is equal to 0. Okay, can we write this in complete square form, because this first term is in the form of complete square? Yes, we can easily write, because this number, if you want to write number 3 in the form square, we will write root 3 its square, means take the root and square at a time, then that number will remain as it is. Similarly here h square minus ab is there, h square minus ab is there, so write root and square, then it is the form, it is in the form of square. So here write hx plus by bracket square minus this x is already in the form of square, so before that I will write here root h square minus ab out of root x and bracket square equal to 0. Is it okay? This is root h square minus ab, this x as it is, and the whole bracket square. Now we obtained here the form a square minus b square, and whenever a square minus b square is there, we can write its factor as a plus b and a minus b. Therefore this is nothing but hx plus by plus root h square minus ab out of root x. This is one factor. Okay, let us write once again. It is nothing but hx plus by plus root h square minus ab out of this root x. This is this hx plus by as it is, and this root h square minus ab into x. So this is a plus b. Now the second factor will be a minus b. A is our hx plus by, hx plus by minus root h square minus ab out of root is x and is equal to 0. So what we get here? We get here first factor and second factor. So product of these two is 0. It means either first is 0 or second is 0 or both are 0. Again, at this stage we can take common x from these two, because first term is x term, last term is also x term, here also x term, x term. So connect those two terms and write the factors once again. So we get plus under root h square minus ab x. Is it okay? We have taken common x here, and the last remains only plus by. This is first factor. We write second factor, taking x common, we get h minus root h square minus ab out of bracket x and plus by bracket complete equal to 0. So these are the factors once again in another form. So let us write the next step here. Which one will be the last step? Now as the product of these two factors is 0, each factor will be 0. Therefore h plus under root h square minus ab into x plus by equal to 0, and h minus under root h square minus ab x minus by, sorry, here h plus and here is plus same, equal to 0. So we get here this is the constant h plus root h square minus ab is constant into x. You can consider this as capital A. So this is of this type, and consider this as A dash, where A is nothing but h plus root h square minus ab, and this A dash is nothing but h minus root a. So these are the two equations in continuity two terms of x and y. X term, y term, constant is absent at this stage. Therefore, these lines, these are the equations of lines passing through origin. And when these lines are real lines, here the term root h square minus ab is here. This coefficient of x is root h square minus ab. If the value of this h square minus ab is greater than or equal to 0, if it is not negative, if it is greater than or equal to 0, it is not negative, then and only then this equation represents a real number line or real line. So at the passing through origin, if h square minus ab is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, that's why in the statement this condition is given. If h square minus ab is greater than or equal to 0, because this h square minus ab is here in this separate equations of two lines. So combined equation is ax square plus 2hxy plus by square equal to 0. From this first equation you get this. Okay, just see the proof of theorem once again. What is given? We have given the combined equation of, we have given the homogeneous equation of degree 2 in x and y, that is ax square plus 2hxy plus by square equal to 0. And what to prove? We have to prove that this equation in general represents two lines passing through origin. So for that we have considered two cases, either constant b is 0 or b is not equal to 0. In first case, whenever b equal to 0, we get two lines, y equal to x, y axis, and this line passing through origin. In case 2, we have supposed b not equal to 0. So what to remember here? As b is not equal to 0, we can multiply equation 1 by b, or each term by b. So ab x square plus 2hxy b plus b square y square equal to 0. Now write this middle term so that dy is one factor of this middle term. So remaining factor is hx. So add h square x square and subtract h square here to the left. So that we get here complete square. Write that complete square. Write the remaining term in the form of complete square. You use the formula a plus b, a minus b, and you will get the two equations of lines in the form of x term and y term constant is absent. So these are the equations of lines passing through origin. If under this condition, if this root h square minus ab is greater than or equal to 0. If this root h square minus or this h square minus ab will be negative, then under root negative number, that is suppose root minus 3 or 5, then this will be imaginary number. This will be 3i. Okay, so that it will be imaginary number. So lines does not remain here, but this equation represents, or this is the equation of pair of lines if h square minus ab is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so that is the simple proof of this theorem. One more case is there, whenever the two constants a and b both are 0. In first case we have taken b equal to 0. If a is also 0, then what will happen? Obviously, let us see the remaining cases here. this equation is given, and if, let us suppose third case, if a equal to b equal to 0, if both constants a and b are 0, then what remains? 2hxy. Therefore this equation get converted into 2hxy equal to 0. A is equal to b equal to 0, it means as a and b are 0, it means h is not equal to 0. It is given indirectly. The h is not equal to 0. As h is not equal to 0, this h is non-zero, so 2h is not equal to 0, but the product of 2h and xy is 0, so this xy must be 0. Therefore this implies xy is equal to 0. Is it okay? Because a and b are 0, so obviously h is not 0. So whenever h is not equal to 0, this xy will be 0. Again the product of these two numbers is 0. Obviously it implies x equal to 0 or y equal to 0 or both are 0. That is the algebraic meaning. So when x equal to 0, it is nothing but the y-axis. Y equal to 0, it is nothing but x-axis. So this equation represents xy equal to 0. So remember this one as example. So xy equal to 0 is nothing but the combined equation of coordinate axis. This is known as the combined equation of coordinate axis. So that is a very important point to remember. So xy equal to 0 is the combined equation or equation of pair of lines which are nothing but the coordinate axis. Okay, so remember this third case as an example. Is it okay? Now if suppose h and b both are 0, then what will happen? Or both a and h are 0. Let us see the fourth one. Fourth case, if a equal to 0 and h equal to 0, for instance, it means, which implies what? B is not equal to 0, because we are telling about a and h only. It means b is obviously non-zero. So whenever b is not equal to 0, this equation will become as by square equal to 0. But what is b? B is obviously non-zero. So the product b and y square is 0 and b is not equal to 0. It implies y square equal to 0. Is it okay? It's very simple. So y square equal to 0, it means what is y square? Y square is nothing but y into y equal to 0. Once again the product of this y and this second y, the product of two numbers is 0 and the two numbers are same. So y equal to, which implies first y equal to 0 and second y is 0. It means we get two x-axis. X-axis, the y equal to 0 is equation of x-axis and this y equal to 0 is equation of x-axis. So we get two x-axis which are coincident because there is unique x-axis, and we are getting, or we are writing here the equation of single x-axis in two ways or twice. So these two axes are coincident lines. So this x-axis is here and this is another x-axis. One is y equal to 0, another is also y equal to 0. So whenever two constants are 0, first two or last two, then we get the coincident lines. Okay? Or we get the single axis two times. If you take b equal to 0 and h equal to 0, we will get ax square equal to 0. When b and h are 0, obviously a is not equal to 0. A is not equal to 0 implies x square equal to 0. X square equal to 0 implies x into x equal to 0. It implies x equal to 0 and x equal to 0. What is x equal to 0? It is nothing but the y-axis. So we get two y-axes which are coincident. So we get the two lines passing through origin. So these are the other cases, but in textbook only two general cases are given. These are very small and particular cases. That's why these are two remaining cases are not given in your textbook. Okay. In exam you can write only first two cases. Okay. So this one is very important, easy and interesting theorem. Equation ax square plus 2hxy plus by square equal to 0 in general represents two straight lines passing through origin under condition that x square minus ab is greater than or equal to 0. Okay. Now see the important remarks or results which can be obtained from these two separate equations that we have obtained from the given combined equation. We know that the combined equation of these two lines is ax square plus 2hxy plus by square equal to 0. From these two equations, from this combined equation, we have separated these two lines. Let us see the first point, that is the nature of lines. Nature of lines. Whenever a combined equation is given this, we know a, h and b. So by knowing the values of a, b and or a, h and b, we can write the nature of given two lines using this condition. What is the condition in this theorem? That is x square minus ab is greater than or equal to 0. So the first condition is if x square minus ab is equal to 0. From that, if x square minus ab is equal to 0, it means this x square minus ab equal to 0 means this root will get cancelled, remains only h. So hx, so this condition implies hx, only hx plus by equal to 0. This line get converted into this one, and when h square minus ab is equal to 0, remains only h. This root with negative sign get cancelled, remains only hx plus by. So we get the lines as hx plus by equal to 0. And whenever the equations of two lines are same, obviously those two lines are coincident. Therefore we can say that we get coincident lines, or we can call them as real coincident lines. Real and coincident line, that is the first nature of lines. Okay, then let us see the second one, that is if x square minus ab is positive. In the first case we will suppose x square minus ab equal to 0. Now x square minus ab is greater than or equal to 0. If this x square minus ab is positive, obviously the root contains positive numbers, so this will be real number. Okay, so real number plus h is again another real number, so we get ax. So we get equations as, I will consider this as a, capital A, h plus root s square plus ab, that is a. So we get equation as ax plus by equal to 0. If this x square minus ab is something positive, here is positive root, positive, and here is negative sign for this root. So this number is different than this. Well, this is positive, this is negative. So opposite numbers are here. So h plus certain number and h minus certain number. These two gives us different constants. In first case we have suppose constant a. Here let us suppose it as constant a dash. So a dash x plus b1 equal to 0. So whether these two lines are coincident? No, because here coefficient a and a dash are different. So these two lines are nothing but real but distinct lines. These two lines are real and distinct. Okay, is it okay? Second case. Now third case, if this x square minus ab is negative, if x square minus ab is less than 0, negative. So the root of negative number is imaginary number. So this line will become imaginary. So whenever x square minus ab equal to 0, this is certain imaginary number. So I will write here ai, certain imaginary number. That's why I am writing that ai x plus by equal to 0. Here is another imaginary number. Suppose bix plus by equal to 0. So whenever a square minus ab is less than 0, then we get these two imaginary lines which are not real. I will write here imaginary means non-real, but the lines are distinct. Actually, we can't say anything about these lines whether they are same or distinct, but mathematically, algebraically, you can say we get these results. That's why I am writing here distinct lines. So whenever square minus ab is negative, we get imaginary distinct lines. Okay, means actual really those are not lines, but we can imagine as these two equations as lines. So these are the three different cases which depends on this x square minus ab, and that will be the nature of lines, and this is nothing but the nature of lines. So remember this nature of lines. There will be a small or short question may be asked for 1 or 2 marks. Find the nature of lines given by this. For example, suppose let us take here 2x square plus 3xy plus 4y square. I am taking the simple numbers 2, 3 and 4 at the as a 2h and b. Okay, let us check whether this equation represents real coincident lines or real distinct lines or imaginary distinct lines or imaginary lines. These are the three ways or three options or three answers. Let us check which one is correct here. Here a is equal to this, b is equal to 2h equal to 3 and b equal to 4. Is it okay? Don't forget to take 2 with this h. A equal to h equal to 3 and b equal to 4. No, here is 2h. So h equal to 3 value. So find the value of x square minus ab. X square is 9 by 4 minus ab is 2 into 4, that is 8. So it is 9 minus 32 upon 4. So it will be minus 23 upon 4, which is negative. So this equation represents imaginary lines, or this equation does not represent two real lines. But for instance, if we suppose there will be negative 4, then b will be negative. If b will be negative, here a into minus 4, that is minus 8 and into minus 8, so plus 8, so becomes here this. So answer will be 41 upon 4, which is now positive. So as x square ab is positive, now this equation represents two real distinct lines. Okay, is it okay? Then another example, suppose here is number 2 root 2 and with plus sign. Let us see what will happen. Here a equal to 2h, sorry, 2h equal to 4 root 2 and b is equal to 4. Then h equal to 2 root 2. Find the value of h square minus ab. H square is this 2 root 2 bracket square minus a is 2 and b is 4. What is 2 root 2 square? Its square is 4. 4 into 2, that is 8. 8 minus 8 is 0. So this equation represents, as a square minus ab equal to 0, it represents two coincident lines. We can simplify this equation by cancelling 2. We get x square plus 2 root 2 xy plus 2y square equal to 0. And whenever the lines are real and coincident, we can easily write the factors of this term, because this root 2 is nothing but root 2 bracket square. So this is 2 times, can we write this as 2x into root 2y. the same example. So this is nothing but the x plus root 2y bracket square equal to 0. And whenever we can write the given combined equation in the form of complete square, obviously that combined equation represents coincident lines. So that x square 2x square plus 4 root 2x square plus 4y square, or cancelling 2 we get x square plus 2 root 2xy plus 2y square equal to 0. This equation represents the two coincident lines, as we can write the given equation in the form of complete square of xy term or binomial expression. Okay, so that is the nature of lines. That is very important. Now, as we know that these are the separate equations of this combined equation of pair of lines, and this equation represents two separate lines if x square minus ab, if x square minus ab is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, that is the condition. If x square minus ab equal to 0, then this equation represents two lines passing through origin, given by these two equations. Okay, now let us find the slope of this line. Slope of this line, let m1 and m2 be their slopes. Then what is m1? m1 is equal to, slope of line is nothing but the negative ratio of coefficient of x and coefficient of y. Coefficient of x is this, that is h plus root x square minus ab upon the coefficient of y is b, and m2 is the negative reciprocal of coefficient of x. Coefficient of x is this, that is h minus under root h square minus ab upon coefficient of y is b. So these are the slopes of two lines which are represented by this equation. Okay, now we will find the important results here, that is the sum of the slopes. Sum of slopes and product of slopes. That is our second important note. Okay, so sum of slopes. Sum of slopes is nothing but m1 plus m2. What are m1 and m2? m1 and m2 are nothing but the slopes of two lines which are given by this combined equation, or which are separate, whose separate equations are these two. Okay, so whenever combined equation is given, you must know the separate equations of those two lines. From that, write the slope of first line, write the slope of second line, take the addition of these two. Addition of these two is negative, remains as it is. So minus h upon b plus minus this upon b, minus h upon b and plus the same upon b. Here the second term is same, h square minus ab upon b, h square minus ab upon b, but they have opposite signs. Here is negative h, but here negative root, here negative positive root. So whenever we take addition of this m1 and m2, here minus h upon b and minus h upon b becomes minus 2h upon b, and this second term gets cancelled. So sum of the slopes of two lines whose combined equation is this is equal to minus 2h upon b, and m1 m2, that is the product of slopes m1 m2. This m1 m2 is nothing but this is plus, this is minus. After taking product of these two negative terms, obviously that product will be positive, so negative sign get cancelled, and the product of h plus root, it is nothing but h plus root h square minus ab into h minus root h square minus ab upon the product of denominators is b square. So it is equal to, taking the product again we get h square, this is a plus b, a minus b. Okay, so a plus b, a minus b is a square minus b square. So b square is again h square minus ab in bracket upon b square, that is equal to, now this h square and minus h square will cancel and minus minus becomes plus ab. So it is ab upon b square, one b get cancelled, so remains a upon b. So the sum of slopes is minus 2h upon b, and the product of slopes, that is m1 m2, is equal to simply a upon b. And we get the important results here, these sum of slopes and product of slopes of two lines. So m1 plus m2 is equal to minus 2h upon b, and m1 m2 equal to a upon b. So what to remember now? Whenever the combined equation of two lines is given, and if m1 and m2 are slopes of two lines given by this combined equation, then their sum of slopes is minus 2h upon b and a upon b. Okay, suppose we have learned the sum of roots of quadratic equation alpha and beta. Whenever equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 is given, and if alpha and beta are the roots of that equation, then obviously x minus alpha and x minus beta are the factors of that equation, because alpha and beta are roots, so x minus alpha and x minus beta are factors. So if you simplify this, then we get x square minus of alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta equal to 0. This equation is the required quadratic equation whose roots are alpha and beta. So these are the two coincident equations. These two equations are same. So whenever alpha and beta are roots of quadratic equation, we write quadratic equation as x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta equal to 0. Now at this stage, m1 and m2 are the roots of quadratic equation. Then if m1 and m2 are roots of quadratic equation, then that quadratic equation is, therefore the quadratic equation whose roots are m1 and m2 is m square. Why we are taking variable m? Because m1 and m2 are roots of quadratic equation. Whenever quadratic equation is x, we can take, instead of alpha beta, we can take x1 x2 as roots of quadratic equation in x. Here the roots are m1 and m2, so quadratic equation has variable, or it is in variable m. So m square minus m1 plus m2 n plus m1 m2 equal to 0. Now use the values of m1 m2 here. Therefore m square minus m1 plus m2 is minus 2h upon b, and m1 m2 is a upon b. Simplify this means multiply this equation by b. Therefore we get bm square minus minus plus 2hm plus a equal to 0, and this is called as the auxiliary equation of this combined equation of pair of lines. How can we obtain this auxiliary equation? There is another method to obtain the auxiliary equation directly from this equation. Divide each term of this equation by x square. Here is ax square divided by x square plus 2hxy divided by x square plus by square divided by x square equal to 0. Then we get here x square will cancel. Here 1x get cancel. So remains here a plus 2h y upon x plus b into y upon x bracket square equal to 0. But what is y upon x? As this is combined equation of two lines passing through origin. Means lines are passing through origin. So if its equation will be y is equal to mx, if two lines are there, one is y equal to mx and another line will be y is equal to m2x. So in general, if you take any line, then its equation will be y equal to mx and therefore m is equal to y upon x. So m is equal to y upon x is the slope of passing through origin. So right here unknown slope a, m that is y upon x. So a plus 2hn plus bn square equal to 0. Rearranging the terms we get bn square plus 2hn plus a equal to 0. That is the auxiliary equation of pair of lines. So this equation and this equation is same. So we can obtain the auxiliary equation in two ways, dividing each term of this combined equation by x square, we get auxiliary equation, or by knowing the slopes of two separate equations of two separate lines of this combined line, knowing these slopes m1 and m2, taking their addition and product and using those values in the quadrant equation, we will get the auxiliary equation. So there are these two ways to obtain the auxiliary equation. We have to remember these auxiliary equations. Okay. Now, in this lecture, what we have learned? Let's recap. Initially, we have learned that this equation ax square plus 2hx square plus by square equal to 0 is the combined equation of two lines. Then this equation represents two lines. In general, ax square plus 2hx square plus by square plus 2by square equal to 0 represents two lines passing through origin. After that, in that theorem, we have obtained the separate equations of lines, which are given by this combined equation. Those equations are nothing but these, and these are the two separate equations, and these two lines are real if x square minus ab is greater than or equal to 0. So from that we have obtained one important result about the nature of lines, whether lines are real and distinct, real and coincident, or imaginary. Then the sum of the slopes and product of the slopes. Sum of the slopes is m1 plus m2 equal to minus 2h upon b, and m1 m2 equal to a upon b. And the last important article, that is the auxiliary equation of pair of lines. Okay.